I'm Tim,
And I'm Joe.
and this is a special retro takeout for us.
This is National Retro Video Game Day.
So, as always, we like to bring you a little bit of a special thing for you for National Retro Video Game Day. Still working on the name with it being so incredibly long, but sure, National Retro Video Game Day.
Well, speaking of acronyms, we're going to talk about the AVGN, or the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Yeah, so this is something that definitely got us a little bit more into doing video game reviews and things. He's one of the first YouTubers that I followed more regularly. I think he's put out quite a lot of funny videos. Definitely plays a lot harder games than what we do. So what we're playing today is we're actually playing a game based on his character that they did for him. This is the sequel to the game. I am the one that's playing it. I've played through and beaten this game. Took me about 600 lives to get through it, but I got pretty good at it. So we're working through the tutorial. So I'm going to go through today and show you where a couple of the items are. I think we'll hit most of them, but we're definitely not hitting all of them because some of those other stages get pretty challenging, and we just wanted to get a video out for you.
Yeah, this is our yearly contribution to the National Retro Video Game Day. So, Tim here is playing as the nerd, the character created by James Rolfe, who we met when we went to a convention in Nickel City Con. We had him sign our copies of Simon's Quest, which was Easter egg. His first AVGN video was based on how bad Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest was. So we had him sign them. Got some pictures right there.
Yeah. Castlevania 2 is it's the only Castlevania I haven't beaten. Like, short of, I know they got a lot more. I haven't played all the Game Boy Advance ones. I should say of them up through Symphony of the Night, it's the only one that I haven't beaten.
Well, the issue that I had with that game was it was kind of an RPG. It was a long, drawn out game. Like you got better by leveling up your character, kind of like Zelda 2 on the same platform. Like you had this leveling up system, and a lot of fans didn't like that. They didn't like the fact you had to grind to play a damn game. Like you just wanted to play the game to beat it, to experience it, not to, grind on enemies until you were blue in the face, and then you could advance.
It was also a pretty cryptic game too. You definitely needed the a subscription to Nintendo Power, or to be talking to the kids on the bus that had a subscription to Nintendo Power to really get to it and beat that game. So that's part of the reason why I never really did. I've since used some codes and gotten to the end, and I've walked through it, but I never really played it start to finish all the way through. So that's what AVGN really started with, was that particular game, and he really tries to highlight the games that are of a similar nature, that they're tough, but they're not, and they're bad, but they're bad in a fun way.
Well, he adds a comical aspect to things. He makes it entertaining to hate games like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Fester's Quest, anything LJN. Like, it's that Rainbow of Death. Like, it's the fact that, if you've
I
ever...
think he calls it the Rainbow of Shit.
Well, yeah, but it's that the fact that, you go through the library of some of these gaming producers, and it's just bad. Like, they're just bad games.
So his whole game is based off of a lot of these other bad games. The stage that I'm in right now is actually the Board James stage. So that was another little thing that he did, where he tried to kind of almost do a spin-off and only talk about board games. And he did a nice long storyline for it, it was actually really, really fun. I'm trying to get all of the pieces in the stage that I play. So in each stage, you can collect Nintendo cartridges that will spell out NES.
Nerd.
Nerd, N-E-R-D. So there's 4 in each stage. Yeah, it's been a little bit since I played it to make this video too. But yeah, so there's 4 in each stage. I've before I was making this video, I was able to pretty much 100% this game. I had a few other challenges to really get through, but I spent a lot of time. This game is super, super fun. For this, I'm really trying to get so all of your stuff goes missing. So one of the things that you have to try and do is get your stuff back to get the good ending in this game. So one of the things you can get is the shoes, which are right in the tutorial. So you'll always get that. That gives you kind of the Mega Man wall climbing slide ability.
Your loafers.
Your loafers.
You start with the zapper.
You can upgrade the gun. You can get the Nintendo Power Pad as a cape. You can get the Super Scope. You can get the NES Advantage, I think is one of them. Or the Max Controller. The Max Controller will like increase your firepower and give you kind of like a larger Buster Cannon type deal. But overall, I mean, I love the coloring on the stage. It's a very tough game. It's not, from what I hear, quite as tough as the first one of this. The first one had a lot more death blocks in it.
Oh yeah, the death blocks.
I never got a chance to play it because I actually play Steam on a Mac. So they only made it so you could play 2 for a Mac on Steam because that's the only one that was supported for. And even with the new Mac update, they actually stopped supporting this game too, which is really sad. But I do hear that it is coming out on Switch at some point, and I'm really looking forward to going through and playing again.
Yeah, they've teased it for days, months, weeks, and years that it's going to be a compilation of 1 and 2 on one cart. Probably for the same $39.49, price of a Nintendo cart. They've been doing a lot of the classics. They had Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. They've got Aladdin and Lion King, which are super fun, nostalgic kind of games that you used to play games of old. So
this the price point on Steam is pretty good. I think this one was like $10 on Steam.
Yeah.
The first one is like $5. So it hopefully shouldn't be too bad for Switch. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to when it comes out so I get to play through this game again. The nice part about this game is in beginner mode, you get 50 lives per level. So as soon as you go out into that main overworld level, you'll get 50 lives back again. And then you get 3 full beer bottles. And then as it gets harder, you'll have less lives to start with and less beer to go into the stage with too.
Yeah, the Avgn, the character was a Rolling Rock fan. He had a Rolling Rock clock that he would reference in a lot of his videos, but when he'd drown his sorrows in bad, shitty games, he would drink Rolling Rock beer. So yeah, this is Board James. He's on the helicopter, so we're getting pretty close to where the secret is in this one. It's the power glove. It lets you punch through other stages, rock walls to advance. And
you can punch through a bunch of different things for it, not just other stages. I use it a lot more in other stages, so even though that it's sort of open world on this, you can really play these in any order. I'm doing the quickest path to get all of the things. This is kind of my own version of doing this. You can definitely get some of these items without doing them in this order, but there's other items that you need the items for. So I always get the power glove first because the power glove is going to help me get to like the Max controller. You need the power glove for, but like the cape, I don't think you need the power glove for.
No, you do because
you need
to punch through a wall, but you also need the shoes, which you get in the tutorial to climb up.
I don't even really count the shoes. Yeah, the shoes are a tutorial item.
Yeah, you get them, but yeah, just I mean, as you watch, he'll get the different upgrades. Yeah. So you got the power glove there, and you smash through
This is definitely the quickest way. The first time I played through this game, I got this much further into the game, and I had to go back for a bunch of things. I think I beat the game with only the power glove and the Max controller. I didn't get anything else. Because I wanted to play this stage first. So this stage is based off of another one of his notorious videos, which is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1.
The sewer. Yeah.
The sewer, or the infamous "you can just walk over it" video. So this is where you punch through the wall. You kind of wait for the shit monster, and then you gotta wait. So those mines are instant kill, and then once you upgrade, you can hold down, and it's a lot easier to fire for them. So like I said, it's just like the Mega Man Buster Cannon, where now you can hold down and you'll get a much larger blast.
So now you have the power glove and the turbo pad.
Mm-hmm.
The cool thing is even if you die right now, you'll just start back because once you get the upgrades, they don't go away.
Yeah, it's not like the trying to get the nerd cartridges, where those will go away if you die. As I died right here.
No.
But I already had it. So I think I went looking for it again. Yeah.
He's like, oh wait, I already have it. Sweet.
So and then just for fun, we'll beat the stage because I'm not gonna only get the item. We can also try and beat it.
Yeah, you get all the cartridges to spell it nerd in each of the levels, which is nice.
It's
touch.
just an added bonus.
Well, it's a nice touch. I mean, it shows a bit of the finessing to getting each of them in this hidden locations and what they are.
So the game also has a whole bunch of achievements. So if you get every single nerd cartridge, it's one of the achievements. If you perfect every level, that's an achievement. When you get into the Virtual Boy stage, those were the ones that I was trying to work on to like finish getting all of the achievements, was to perfect all those. Was able to do the overworld. That Virtual Boy stage is by far one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. It helps getting the stuff though. It definitely helps having everything.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like certain achievements are there just to be an achievement. You know, it doesn't add any value to the game. It just
it just gives you. Honestly, I think achievements just give you a reason to play through it again.
Yeah, no. Replayability is great, and I love games that have a bit of replayability, especially if you know where stuff is. Then you can start to speedrun it, and you can start to get your personal records, your personal bests.
It's kind of like 100%ing a Zelda game. Like it's one of those you don't need to 100% a Zelda game, but it's more fun, and if you do try, it'll make the game a little easier towards the end. I just recently did Link to the Past, and I forgot how easy it is once you have the golden sword and all 20 hearts and the silver arrows to just be canon. Because I don't think I've actually went to that extreme to try and do it for a little bit. It'll probably be a future video. We can do some Zelda playthroughs.
Yeah, stay tuned. I've got a few ideas that we're gonna touch on. A few Zelda, maybe some cooking ideas, because we are Retrotakeout, and we haven't done much takeout things recently. So this year I want to delve into a new series I want to start getting into. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we got a couple new series coming up. I think we're gonna start doing a tips and tricks. Maybe this is kind of our test run of what a tips and tricks video could end up being. We're not out there to really try and beat the game. That's what long play gaming's for. But some of these longer games that are probably a little too long for those videos, we can at least show you some key spots where it's not all just necessarily boss battles either.
Yeah.
You know.
We'll see. I mean, comment below. Let us know what you like watching, what you are interested in. We do take suggestions. So if there's something,
we're small enough. We listen to everybody. Too much.
Yeah, we really do.
If you're one of our 10 followers, we'll make sure to make a video for you.
Okay, at recording we have 40 subscribers. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, please like, follow, comment. I mean, let us know what we're doing good, what we need to do better, and I don't know.
Well, grammar's not what we're doing good, but sure.
I never said I was good at grammar, okay?
No. Yeah, we're here for you guys. So we're gonna keep going through this. So these kegs are worth. You can keep it as an extra item, and then you can play the keg at any point, and it'll give you a full health.
It's like an energy tank in Mega Man.
Yep. Yeah, this game, I'm gonna keep comparing it to Mega Man because there's a lot of Mega Man-isms in this game.
Well, I kind of wish he had taken over the bosses and been able to take some powers and abilities other than the upgrades. That would have been sweet.
That probably would have been too much like Mega Man.
Well, they kind of were ripping off a bunch of different games by making this game. So at the end of each level, you blow up the stage, and he says he's time to flush this turd. You know, that's classic AVGN toilet humor, pun very much intended. So we're in the sewers. Now we're in the Japanesey level.
Yeah, this is one where I'm not. It's harder for me to pinpoint exactly what game this is based off of. This is just like if Japan threw up on a level to me. I because I mean, like Ninja Gaiden wasn't like this at all with the bright colors and everything else. I don't necessarily recognize any parody stuff in here. The first game of his, the AVGN one, it was directly like each level was based on different video games that he had played. Like there's a Castlevania stage, and there was there were some other ones. So, like I said, I didn't play it, so I'm trying to go off memory, but I think there was a snow level. Like every game has a snow level type deal. This one was a lot more. They created worlds, and those worlds just had different, fun feels to them. When you get into the alien world in this one, there's a lot of like the upside down mechanics that end up happening of a lot of Switch stuff. And like the Virtual Boy console itself, or there's a horror level stage that we'll get to in this video. So he tried to really theme it a lot more to like there's characters in there. So like the horror level has the Jason, you have to throw the rocks at him like you do in Friday the 13th. But it's a lot more just overall themes.
Well, this one felt like a lot of platforming. Like you were using the shoes in this one a lot because it's all kind of ninja.
That's what I said. Like it's not. It doesn't feel anything like Ninja Gaiden, but that's probably the closest to. Because I mean, Ninja Gaiden wasn't a shooter, and the mechanics of these shoes aren't at all like the same as Ninja Gaiden. Because
you would be going back and forth.
Yeah, and or Gaiden, however you want to say it, but in that game you have to, like when you jump on the wall, you stick to it. You can't slide.
Right.
In this one, you can slide, and you can use the slide to your advantage like crazy.
Yeah, I like the jump/slide because you can keep jumping up the same wall, or you can wall jump to the other one. It's really cool mechanic. I definitely really enjoy it.
This game overall, the feel of it and the mechanics of it are really, really good. I found it super playable.
Really hard.
Controller wise, I play it with a USB Super Nintendo controller. Because I like having a D-pad for some of these games. I'm actually really interested in the Switch because a lot of the old Nintendo games I started playing using the thumbstick on them, which definitely builds in a different mechanic. I'd be interested to play this on something that has a controller with a thumbstick. I don't. Most of my USB controllers, because I'm not a big computer gamer. I only had stuff to play like classic video games on, which this is perfect for it. You really only need 3-button controller would take care of this, no problem. So this level's intentionally meant to mess with your eyes. I feel it's incredibly hard to follow.
Well, because all of those platforms were out of sync, and it's like you have to almost do those blind jumps in games. You remember in certain NESs you had that blind jump and leap of faiths and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And either you're jumping into a pit or you're jumping into a pitfall where you're getting sliced by the shurikens or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Just different. I mean, each level has a theme, and you basically want to try to master that theme to get to the next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think once you kind of get the mechanics of this game down, it becomes easier to play. It's still, like I said, it's a very, very challenging game, but it's fun. It is definitely challenging, but very, very fun. And it's fair. That's the biggest one for me too. Like, it's not you die your couple of times and now you have to start back at the beginning. Like, they have a lot of checkpoints. They have a lot of continues. Trust me, in a couple of these levels, I really needed the checkpoints. I really needed the continues, but especially like right now, like I'm really, really fighting to try and get through this little section, and that's how I would do this game. I really pieced the sections together quite a bit, and I was able to get through it. And I'm not our best gamer on the channel by far, but sometimes if a game clicks with me, I can really get through them just like you can.
Well, I felt like that's how the three of us are on this channel. We each have our own likes and dislikes. We have our own skills and assets toward different games because we all don't like the same kind of games. We all don't. We don't play the same. Like I said, some of us play more often, so our skill level's a little higher. But some of us have been playing certain types of games more than the others, and that's where our attributes, toward happen for the channel.
So do you have a favorite AVGN episode?
I do. I'm trying to think of which one I really always enjoyed watching.
Or like a top five? Like, I always do a top five on the podcast. You want to do a top five AVGN episodes?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. There's like 100, I think it's up to like 172
Sure.
at the time of recording. So there's a lot of different ones, but I liked certain things that he did. I liked when he did the he touched on each of the Castlevania games during. I mean, he did Halloween themed ones. He did the deliberate ripoff ones. He did consoles that were really bad. Like, he touched on the Philips CDI and how bad that was. A little bit of history with it too. He talked about the partnership with Nintendo. So you had these really bad Zelda games that are on there, which I definitely want to pick up for my Zelda collection at some point. But there's no point because they're just really bad. It's just the sake that the fact that it was a Zelda game that I really, really want to play it, but it's just really bad. Like, it's this oxymoron. So I mean, over here we're getting the next secret items over here, and you have to scale the wall on the left here, and it's kind of a hidden way to get it.
Yeah, so this is kind of up in the corner.
So death blocks, shuriken. Nice that the checkpoint's right there, so you're not traveling too far just to overcome this one little piece.
All right, so I have my top five. Do you think you can come up with your top five AVGN episodes? I'm gonna talk for a minute about the game. You come up with your top five, and let's figure out each of our top five AVGN episodes. So if you're a AVGN fan, you can't come up. Fine, I will just say mine then.
I mean, I came up with the ones, like I said, I liked his themes. I liked the themes he went with. He had Christmas themed. He had
Yeah, but this is a top five list. You just pick your top five.
Well, go ahead and tell your top five, and I'll come up with.
See if you can come up with your own.
Yes.
Okay. My number five is, I absolutely love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode of you just can just jump over it. Is kind of what he ended up coming, and he ended up doing like a 10-year anniversary of that one, because you can just jump over it. Is there's a part in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles where it's a gap that is just one square, and it's so close to the ceiling. Everybody tries to jump over it, and I probably did easily thousands of times trying to jump over it. And sometimes you're successful, and sometimes you're not. And during the video, he realized that he did it by accident, which is you don't actually have to jump. You can just walk over the platform on it. So you can walk that single space, which also makes the sewer level significantly easier if you use that kind of same mechanics to it. And after watching that video, I was actually able to beat Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 because that was the thing that always got me, especially on the sewer level, was that you try to jump every single gap and land on these tiny little platforms. Some of them you can just kind of walk over on them. My number 4 is definitely Castlevania 2. I'm being a huge Castlevania fan. And also, I really am a big fan of the thing that really kind of draws you in. This was his first video. It was also one of the first ones that I watched. So, with it being me being such a Castlevania fan, that I was immediately kind of sucked in and have always liked his style of things. My number 3 is the Mega Man one. So the Mega Man, he does all 6 Mega Man games, and he like travels back in time during it. So this one has a lot more story. So certain reviews that he does, he will either go back in time. Well, he won't go back in time, but he'll add more story to it versus it just being a straight review. Kind of recently, he did a Majora's Mask one that he put a lot into. Those are always really, really fun. I think he has a good directorial eye for stuff. My number 2 is probably Mario 3. That's where you see the super metal like Jesus towards the end, because he finds out that Mario 3 is like the devil and it's the devil's work, and the game comes alive and tries to kill him. But my number 1, and I laugh every single time, is he did a review of the Paperboy. And the part that cracks me up is he actually goes outside on a bike and tries to throw a newspaper into a mailbox. I always thought it was such a really, really funny sequence. So that's probably my number 1 episode out of all of them.
Okay, so my top 5, as I said before, as I was previewing, and I still stand by this, were the console ones. I liked when he was touching on the CDI. He was touching on the Jaguar. He was touching on the accessories, the different things, like, he's got, the ones on, the power pad, the power glove, the scream and shout or whatever it was with the, you could see, through the game. He had just different accessories that he put all around himself, and it equipped him and made him more powerful because he had all of the accessories, which kind of pays homage to the power-ups that you get in this game. I liked that he would go into obscure things like the Amiga. He would talk about just gaming consoles and platforms, the Commodore 64, different things that you didn't have, didn't own, or didn't know even existed. Like there was, just primitive technologies that people experimented with, and ultimately, a lot of them just fell to the floor of time because better consoles just either sold out, sold better, or for whatever reason, I liked the different consoles that he touched on.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are in the your Friday the 13th Nightmare Halloween spooky level.
So the fun part about this level, I mean, it's all black and white. Those Jason chainsaws will kill you in one hit, so that's a complete death chainsaw. But I like that it's all black and white, and then actually you can hit at certain times. There's like a switch, and the switch will turn the whole game to color and brighten everything. I thought that was a really, really cool mechanic. Trying to play a game in black and white is tough. This is where having that the swear and shout scope that kind of will fill in blocks that are normally gaps helps in this level a ton. So that's why, yet again, I'm kind of trying to purposely do these in certain orders because they definitely help you on your way through. You can get the next item without having the swear and shout. Really, you may still need the power glove for this one though.
No, I definitely like the black and white aspect. It definitely brings a flavor to the game that would otherwise, it's different, and it feels spooky. So,
Well, it feels very much like that classic monster level. You know, the classic whatchamacallit, like a classic 40s monster, you know, the MGM monsters and stuff. So very much that old, like, you know, the Bela Lugosi Draculas and things like that.
the Monster Mash.
So this is a tough stage too. This whole level, the Virtual Boy is very much the same because the Virtual Boy is all red and black. When you get up into that final stage on the way to the boss, so it's harder to spot stuff. So like those the nerd cartridges become really, really hard to find when you got two colors in them because they hide a lot easier. Especially because they'll put them down in like a little pit that you can't really see too much in anyways. So this one also, on top of it being black and white, it's also like a close. If you're thinking of the game having like a camera following the character, they closed in so there's a fade that puts a single spotlight circle around him too, so you don't see anything on the edges. And it's a fade that gives you still kind of wide in the center where your character is, but all of your corners are all blocked off too. So it's incredibly hard to find things in this stage. So here's a little swimming level part to it. This one's really fun with how it's broken up too. So all those little chains and mines and stuff, these are trying to go through it. It's a little nerve-wracking to go through these.
So you're getting close to the bonus item here. So you do need the
so if you wall climb all the way up and then you power glove through this wall, this is where you can get the cape.
The cape helps you kind of glide, like in Super Mario World when you had the cape, you could kind of...
The cape gives you float,
essentially.
So yet again, the cape you don't... So you need the swear and shout to get the super scope, but you don't need the cape for really any of them. The cape helps you get... Actually, I think the cape will help you get the swear and shout. There's a little, like... I've seen some people put some different like graphs up as to which ones you should get them first. This is just, I think, what works best for me. I didn't need a lot of float to try and get really anywhere. It's a nice feature to have. I really like having the float for when you get into the later stage of the Virtual Boy stuff. So I think that's going to pretty much wrap us up for today. We just want to wish everybody a happy National Retro Video Game Day from all of us at Retrotakeout. I'm Tim.
I'm Joe.
And you guys have a great time. We'll see you next year for our features.
Thanks for watching.